Boy, this is some, I can't even curse that early, bro. Do y'all know when I watched the video where the guy left his daughter in the hot car, the 2-year-old, and she died? Breaking: dad who let daughter die in hot car dead. Like, I'm not trying to laugh because this ain't funny. I'm just like, yo, this title is this is crazy. But we all law and crime. Let's get into it, bro.
Just to let you know, I don't want to feel like we're intruding, but we're gonna have to stand by with you for a while. All right.
Is there a reason why?
So any death, we have to treat like a crime scene.
Breaking news out of Arizona. Christopher Schultz, the father who admitted to abusing his 2-year-old daughter by leaving her to die in a hot car while he searched the internet for porn and played video games, is dead.
Oh
this
my
news
God.
comes as he was supposed to turn himself in after his guilty plea. I go through everything we know about this breaking development in the heartbreaking case.
Bro.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is
You
Crime
know what?
Fix.
Okay, before the video starts, I just want to say that I really feel sorry for the family because I think it was a mom and it was 2 other little girls. They lost their daughter. They lost their sister. The mom lost her daughter, and they lost their dad. Like, yeah, he did something that was crazy. Like she said, he left her in a hot car and she died while he was watching, you know. But at the same time, that's 2 people like back to back in their family. So I really do feel bad for them. Like, and my condolences go out to them. This is a crazy ass video though. Like, god damn.
If you think that the crime stories that we cover on the internet for data brokers off an annual plan. Christopher Schultz was supposed to appear in court following his guilty plea on charges of second-degree murder and child abuse, but he didn't show up. Schultz had appeared for all of his prior court appearances, but on Wednesday, he was a no-show at court in Pima County, Arizona. That was cause for concern. Where was Christopher Schultz, and why didn't he show up for court? He was ordered to turn himself in by the end of the day, but that would not happen. Authorities in Phoenix, about an hour's drive from Marana, where Schultz had lived with his family when his daughter Parker died in their driveway in July of 2024, said Schultz was found dead around 5 a.m.
I thought that was this year. That was, damn.
In a home there. There aren't a lot of details available about the circumstances surrounding Christopher Schultz's death, but one thing certainly comes to mind. His life was ruined. He was going to prison for 30 years to serve time for the murder and child abuse of his beautiful daughter. He had been a stay-at-home dad prior to that and had what appeared to be a pretty nice life. His wife was a doctor. They had a beautiful home and children. And Schultz would have to live with what he had done for the rest of his life, most of which would be spent behind prison walls. It would be a miserable, miserable existence for Schultz.
I wonder if he killed himself, or, well, they didn't even say he killed himself, but he's dead. But like, I wonder, like, if he did kill himself, did he do it because he just could not, he couldn't even like imagine going to prison for that long? But I mean, like, I don't know how old he was, but I mean, 30 years, you would have still probably got out. Yeah, your life would have been, your daughters are 30 years older. Your wife probably would have been, you know, if you had parents, they might be gone by then, but you would have still got out and lived a little bit. But I wonder if it was because he's like, no, I can't go to prison for that long, or it's because he just could not sit with the fact that he did that, or like, you know, he was negligent and that happened to his daughter.
Sure. What he did to Parker was incredibly selfish. He didn't forget she was in the car. He left her there on purpose after the evidence showed he'd been told not to leave her in the car many, many times before. Parker Schultz died for no reason at all. Let's take a look back at the case, starting with the 911 call that day in July 2024.
What are you reporting?
She was in the car sleeping. She's unresponsive.
Okay. And who is she?
Please.
Who
My
is she?
daughter. My daughter.
I
Please,
just still,
please.
I'm sorry. I just still can't. I don't understand how you thought that was. Maybe he didn't think that was a good idea, but I'm like, I don't even understand how you just did that though. Because I'm looking at it like, bro, even if I lived in a place where it wasn't, they're in Arizona. They said if I'm out, and this is what they said, but in a different video I watched, they said it was different. But they said like the temperatures got so hot, it was almost like it got to like 149 degrees inside the car after the AC turned off. And then you could see like the fingerprints on the window from where she was sitting at. Like that's crazy. But I'm looking at it like, even if it wasn't hot, I'm not leaving my kid in the car though, just to sleep. I mean, I can understand you don't want to wake him up, but it's like, what did take him in the house, nigga? What the f? Like, I feel like that's beyond common sense. Like, that's not even, like, that's something, I feel like that's not that, like, you wouldn't even have to be an adult to do that, to think about that. You could be a teenager, you could be a little kid, and then you wouldn't be, I don't think you would be leaving a 2-year-old in the car just to sleep. Because I'm telling, like, I don't want to say he did it on purpose, but in the other video, they were saying that he was doing that. Like, the daughter said that he would do that. And then the wife also was saying, she either said on the phone or she texted him, she's like, I told you to stop doing that. But it's like, bro, like, okay, so you live in Arizona and you've been doing this shit. So what did you, like, I don't understand. So did you just think that, oh, well, I mean, she survived the other times, or she was fine other times, it should be fine this time? But nigga, you left her in there for 3 hours, bro. Saying that the sensor on the car would turn off after 30 minutes. So you left her in there for 3 hours, though. Because that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say he did it on purpose, but it's a lot of pointing to that, bro. It's like, that wouldn't just slip your mind. You wouldn't go in the house and, oh, my daughter's in the car after 3 hours. That's not, that doesn't even seem logical. Like, any parent with some sense, you know what? You don't even have to have sense. Like, any parent, I just feel like, you know, a responsible parent wouldn't do that. Now, if you don't care about your child, then I can see you doing that because you just don't give a f. But I'm looking at it like, like, what do you think is gonna happen from that? You think it's gonna blow over? You're not gonna go to prison? Like,
And this was out in the driveway?
Yes.
Is she still breathing?
No, she's not breathing right now.
Okay, we need to start CPR right now.
Yes, we are. We're starting CPR, yes. Oh, my God.
like I live in, I'm sorry, I know I'm pausing, but this video is just triggering. Like, I live in Vegas. I know how hot it get out there. I used to work at the airport fueling planes during the summer. I'm the sun beaming on my motherfucking face like this light right here. So imagine sitting in a car. You can't even sit in the car for a minute with the AC on. The AC, bro. I'm just like, get like 3 hours. Oh my God. Like, I can't even imagine what she was going through.
Half hour? It was, but it turns off. I've been checking. Oh my God.
Okay, is she breathing yet?
That nigga's sassy, dude.
No.
Medics arrived and tried to save Parker, but it was simply too late. Video from inside the home is blurred.
Anything.
Now, Christopher Schultz begins to ask why police officers are at his house.
Why don't we have a seat somewhere? What's going on? Why are you with me? Because we were first responders and we were on scene. And anytime they call us, anything like this happens, they call us.
At one point, Schultz talks about his car parked in the driveway. He said he left Parker in it with the AC on, just as he had claimed in the 911 call.
The AC was on.
That's not an excuse. It's just not. Like,
So you guys all hear from me? My MDX. The one parked in the driveway. The black one? Okay. The blue. No blue. Are you guys here for me?
Yeah, we want to do everything we can at all. That's why you have so many of us.
This is my worst nightmare.
Christopher Schultz was incredibly upset. This is an emergency of his own making. His wife is a doctor, and she knows that there's nothing that can be done to save Parker.
She's dead. Like, I need to be with her right now.
Oh my God, I know.
I know they just got to be looking at his ass like, bro, like, you, like, what were you thinking?
She's dead. We're nothing. Sir, we're doing the best we can right now. Oh my God.
Or they probably thought he did it on purpose. Because that's just so stupid. Like, I don't, bro.
They're going to Northwest.
Yeah, they're going to Banner right now. We're gonna keep you updated with everything, okay? We just need to stand by with you right now, all right? Is that your wife out there?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna make sure she gets down there, okay? All right. We have officers escorting her down there. If we need to, we will drive her down there, and we'll make the same accommodations for you, all right? We'll keep you updated with everything they have. Yeah.
Officers are in the house with Christopher Schultz for a while, and then his wife called.
She wants me to try and get a ride to the hospital.
Hey, we'll accommodate that for you, all right? We're just gonna need to get a statement from you about what happened, what's been going on. Obviously, I know this isn't easy for you, okay? It's not easy for anyone around right now. We're gonna keep you updated with everything we hear. Do you want to sit down somewhere? Where would you be most comfortable?
Sure, like...
You want me to refill this for you? Can I sit? Is that all right?
An officer gets Schultz to talk, and he offers an explanation as to why the car was parked in the driveway and not the garage.
I'm sorry this is all going on.
And nothing makes sense.
We always park that
I know,
car in the
I know.
garage usually, but I just got a Peloton recently, and the Peloton is in the garage now, so that's why it's not even in the garage. But
And how long was she sleeping in the car out there?
I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes, and I don't think their air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I had checked on her last, it was still running, she was still sleeping, and then when I went back out, the car was off.
Schultz wants to go to the hospital, but his plans don't work out exactly as he had hoped.
Just to let you know, I don't want to feel like we're intruding, but we're gonna have to stand by with you for a while. All right.
Is there a reason why?
So any death, we have to treat like a crime scene. I know this is extremely difficult for you. This is a normal process that we have to follow through with. I don't want you to be blindsided by anything, but that's what's going to be going on for right now, okay?
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
No.
I just lost my baby.
Not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay? I don't want to keep any secrets. I don't want to hide anything for you. Someone's going to talk to you about what happened, though. All right? We will keep you updated with everything.
My whole family, my whole family's gonna be ruined.
Would it be all right? So we can't let you do that right now. We have to stand by with you. Okay? As soon as you can, we will let you
You
know.
can stay in the room if you want, but I'm not gonna talk.
I can't
I know
believe
this-
he said that. There is no door on this. Your ass is supposed to be in the shower while they just standing there. Like, I don't know what's going through this man's mind, bro.
This isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finish up, the sooner you can be with your wife. All right?
I'm trying
We
to
need
rinse
stand by
off
with you.
so I can go to the
I know,
hospital
but
to be with my wife.
we're not going to shower or anything right now. You need to stand by with us.
I don't understand why.
Okay?
Christopher Schultz was later charged with second-degree murder and taken into custody. It would later come to light, though, that Schultz had left Parker and her siblings in the car more than 50 times in the past. Then there was this text exchange between Schultz and his wife as Parker was being rushed to the hospital. Erica Schultz wrote, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Schultz responded, "Babe, I'm sorry." His wife responded, "We've lost her. She was perfect." Schultz then responded, "Babe, our family. How could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real." Christopher Schultz turned down a plea deal in the spring. Then last month, days before jury selection was set to begin in his trial, and after a judge ruled the jury would not hear that Schultz was searching for pornography as Parker lay dying in the car, he agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder and child abuse.
Wait, hold on. Why they didn't get to hear that, bro? No, you shouldn't. Like, why?
The county attorney issued a statement. It reads, Christopher Schultz accepted a plea agreement and pled guilty to one count of second-degree murder and one count of intentional/knowing child abuse under circumstances likely to cause death or serious physical injury. Under the terms of the plea, the sentences imposed by the judge are going to run consecutively, and Schultz will face a sentencing range of 20 to 30 years of flat time, meaning he's not eligible for early release. He must serve the full sentence imposed by the court in the Department of Corrections for murdering PS on July 9th, 2024. We are grateful for the hard work and dedication of our prosecutors, victim advocates, staff for their collaboration with local law enforcement on this complicated and high-profile case. This is yet another reminder to the community that the Pima County Attorney's Office will do everything we can to get justice for victims and prosecute those who have caused harm to others, especially those who are most vulnerable. Schultz was supposed to be sentenced later this month. Then came word that he didn't show up for court, and he was found dead. So joining me to discuss this really tragic development in this case is Dwayne Cates. He's a certified specialist in criminal law with the Arizona State Bar. Longtime
if they're not gonna talk about, like, if they don't know how he died, or if they're not gonna talk about that, I'm not gonna keep. I tell y'all every time. I don't know why. I just don't like it when they bring other people on here to talk about it. I don't feel like watching that. But I'm just saying, if they don't talk about how he passed, then I'm not going to keep watching.
Criminal defense attorney. Dwayne, this is a tragedy. Christopher Schultz was going to prison likely for 30 years for the death of his daughter, Parker, a beautiful little girl. I just don't understand sometimes in cases like this. I get it. He had been free on bail the entire time. He may have been safer, though, in county jail, pending sentencing. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Arizona has a rule called Rule 7.2, and if you plead guilty to a charge that requires you to go to prison, it's kind of mandatory that you go into custody. Now, the only time that doesn't happen is if the prosecutor and the defense attorney both agree and the judge agrees to waive 7.2, then the person can stay out. But more times than not, a person is taken into custody if they enter into a plea that requires prison for this very reason.
Because there's a fear that something could happen. Maybe the person does something.
Disappears, runs off, goes to another country, is found deceased in the ocean. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not entirely shocked by this development. I mean, it's a horrific case. When you look back at the body camera footage, obviously, Christopher Schultz did not do this on purpose. He did not do this on purpose, but he neglected his duties as a dad. Quite clearly, he admitted he neglected his duties as a dad. Quite clearly, he admitted to abusing his daughter by leaving her out in that hot car. And this was not a one-off.
Yeah.
He had done this 50 times or so before. He had repeatedly left this beautiful little girl in the car. Typically, he would leave her in the garage, but the Peloton bike was in there that day. And so he left her in the driveway to sleep in the middle of the summer in July. And he's in the house playing video games and stuff, and she's out there.
Okay, I could see if he's like, oh, I do this, and he's leaving her in the garage where it might not be as hot, but I'm just like, I still don't get why maybe, I don't know, maybe people just really just have different thought processes, but I'm just looking at it like, I would just bring the kid in the house, and maybe it's loud in the house, you don't want to wake her up, it's just because I really don't believe he did it on purpose, but it's just like, dude, like, how do you? I can't wrap my mind around that. Like, if I want my kid to sleep, I want them to sleep, but I'm not gonna leave them in the car, in the garage. I'm not gonna leave them outside in the because even if she didn't die from like whatever it was, just being in the hot car, it could have just been she had a stroke or something, or I don't know, whatever happened. I still wouldn't, like, even if like anything could happen though. Like, you said the car was on though, or so it's like, okay, I don't know if the car was on or if the AC was on. I'm just looking at it like anything could have happened. Somebody could have been driving drunk in that neighborhood, just came out of nowhere, just hit the car. Anything. I mean, yeah, that is far fetched. But I'm just looking at it like me personally. I would not have. I would just brought them in the house, knowing that they're safer. You know, anything can happen in the house too. But I'm just looking at it like I wouldn't have. I just don't. I don't get that, bro. Like it's
3 hours. So, it's just a
But
horrific.
like, yeah, like my original point, I could see if he still shouldn't have been doing that though. Just keep leaving him in the car, even if it's in the garage. I mean, maybe he just got comfortable doing that because he'd been doing that and nothing happened. But still, it's like, don't you know? Like, I know you got out that car and was like, damn, it's hot out here. I know you did that. Okay, unless you were under the influence. But even if you would, because they say he got out the car with like 3 beers in his hand, or did he leave? They said he had 3 beers or something like that. So I'm like, okay, if you was drinking, you was probably hot. I don't know. You didn't have that thought that it was hot, and I don't.
Case, I know he didn't do it on purpose, but a little girl died. I mean, it's just horrific.
Yeah, and what makes it really bad is that he'd done it numerous times before. And the email or the text message from his wife is really damning, where it's like, dang it, I told you not to leave the kids in the car. I've told you 100 times, very emphatically that she had been telling him not to do that. Okay. And so he can't say, sometimes people are in a rush and they grab the groceries and they go in the house and they forget the child. That's not this case. He left the child there intentionally, and he apparently does it all the time.
And that's what's so upsetting about this case, is that he didn't learn. He didn't learn his lesson. I mean, anything could happen if you leave a child in a car. I mean, somebody can steal the car. Somebody could snatch the child. Any number of things could happen, Dwayne.
Well, you got to keep in mind, this is Arizona too. So in the middle of July, it's hot. I mean, it's 115, 120 degrees outside sometimes. So, you just can't leave anybody in the car. You can't leave a dog, anything. So, and again, there's various reports that maybe he was in, playing video games and looking at porn or whatever, and if those are the facts, then had he gone to trial, he would have got life in prison. Okay, so the plea agreement was going to let him get out, I think between 20 and 30 years is what the plea called for. And so, and again, that's he looks to be, in his 30s.
Okay, so if he was doing that though, and those are the confirmed facts, why would he even get a plea agreement? Because then it makes it seem like that wasn't what actually happened. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just like he was looking up, or he was on like Safari, and then I can't even talk. He was just looking up stuff, and then it had an ad that was kind of similar to, I don't know, like a porn ad or whatever. And he wasn't actually looking at that. I could see if it was that, okay. And he was just looking up other stuff. But if he actually was doing that while she was in the car, it's like, why does he get a plea? Why does he get a plea? But if he was actually doing that, it's like, because that's what I'm saying. It seems like he wasn't actually doing that then.
Almost.
Well, because I don't know the technicalities of it. I'm just taking it just face value what I'm hearing. I don't know. I'm not him. I don't know all the laws and all that. I ain't been studying law. I'm just going off of what I'm hearing.
It's essentially a life in prison sentence.
Most definitely. And I said earlier, in the show, the rest of his life was going to be a miserable existence. He was going to walk into prison as somebody who did this. He wasn't going to be looked upon in a nice way among the other inmates in the prison. You left your daughter in a car to die while you were doing this stuff on the internet and playing video games. So life was going to be pretty miserable for him in prison. And he had a really nice life. He was a stay-at-home dad while his wife was at work. She was a physician. So he had a pretty nice life, and then he was going to be.
I see why he was staying at home. Dad, he act like one.
Walking into prison for likely 30 years. I think the judge was going to throw the book at him.
Well, and to think about it this way, in Arizona, okay, there are different yards where you get placed in prison. Okay, now if he were a child molester, okay, he would go to a sex yard. which is way better than the other yards. But because he had a second-degree murder conviction that was dangerous crimes against children, he most likely was going to go to a 4-yard, which is the maximum security yard, just below the death penalty and death row. And
Damn.
he's going to be put in there with some really bad guys that don't like the fact that a child got killed. And so
I was thinking
he was going to have a really rough life.
This seemed like a major error, though, on the part of the courts. It seems like a really a bad miscalculation, on the part of the defense, the prosecution, and the judge, in my opinion, because we've seen this type of thing happen, in other cases where somebody takes off, somebody decides to end it because they're not going to go to prison for the rest of their life. So do you think that judges will be more hesitant after seeing this to agree to that in the future?
And generally when stakes are this high, the person isn't let go. I mean, that's generally speaking. And I think because his wife probably spoke highly of him at the bond.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Because in the other video, the wife was like, "Oh, like, can he please come home for Christmas?" Or it was something like that. Because like the kids they need their father. They just lost their sister. Like they can't lose their father too. That's crazy that that's what actually happened. But I'm pretty sure that's why they let him out. Because like he said, his wife was speaking highly of him. Like
the hearing to get him out. Okay. And I think that probably played into it. But in most cases where you're pleading to second-degree murder, you're not going home from the change of plea hearing. You're going to jail. And that and again, all that has to happen is if the prosecutor would have said, "I'm not willing to waive 7.2, then they would have had to have put him in jail. Okay, because the state had to agree to do that. If they didn't do that, then the judge has no choice because the statute basically says shall, and some judges read it that you can't even that you can't waive it. Okay, I've had judges tell me that. Most will if everybody agrees, but generally not on a second-degree murder case.
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, it's sad for his other children because now they're going to grow up without a father at all. At least they may have been able to speak with him on the phone or the prison tablet or something like that. But now they're not going to be able to ever speak with their father again. It really is a tragedy. But I hope that the courts will take notice of this and see that they should have just taken him into custody right then and there after the guilty plea. Dwayne Cates, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Hey, thank you for having.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, man. I'm saying for that family, because that wife, she just lost her daughter. Now she lost her husband. And the two girls just lost their sister and they lost their father. So that, like I said in the beginning of the video, I really feel bad for them. I send my condolences out to them. Even though, and even him, like, I know what I was saying in the other video, like, bro, like, I was saying a whole bunch of shit, because I'm just not, I just wouldn't be able to think like that. I'm sorry, I just can't, I would, yeah, things happen on accident, but he was just clearly negligent. But RIP to him anyways, man, but that's crazy.